Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna have to come up with this like Radio Vietnam. Do you guys remember that? Good morning, LinkedIn. Anyway,
I think you may need to change it to good evening because it's just been pointed out to me that
yes.
on LinkedIn it says August the 22nd, 2025, at 8:15 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh, I fixed that this morning. Anyway, semantics. Andy, how are you, mate? How are you?
I'm all right. I've had a tricky few hours, but I'm okay.
Oh, do you want to share with people? Awesome. Hey, Des, how are you, mate?
Doing great. Getting ready to go overseas. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, do tell us. Remind us again. Where are you going?
I'm going to Eastern Europe for 3 weeks, but it's very, very important sort of spiritual journey for me.
Okay.
I'll be going on I'm going through the preparations now for a disclaiming retreat.
Nice.
And it's obviously led by a renowned disclaiming guru.
Not you. Are you not the?
Oh no, It's not me, and I was very lucky to get a spot on this cohort. There was only 10,000 spots available, and I was luckily was able to go on. And so what I'm looking at is a 3-week silent journey of introspective disclaiming.
Well, you'll fit right in with the silent part.
So we'll be contemplating the fundamental disclaiming laws of the universe, the sacred truth that nothing in this podcast is advice, and that if you require advice, please consult an actual specialist. And I'm excited to begin the next chapter in my disclaiming spiritual journey.
Nice. Well, and I love the way you I think you just wowed us with a disclaimer without making it a disclaimer. Is that a new technique that you're looking to introduce to the show, Des?
It's something actually I'm hoping to master in my journey. So that's one of the hallmarks of Guru Ignatius the Cautious. So he conducts these retreats from the Caveat Monastery in the Rhodope Mountains.
Well, Des, now between you, me, Andy, and anyone else that has clearly got nothing better to do with their bloody time, you've got to get a selfie from the treat. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. If you choose not to, don't bother coming back to the show. Okay.
I'll hit up the guru, see if I can get a selfie with him as well. I think
Nice.
that'd be pretty cool.
Nice. Now, Andy, if you check this out, right? Old mate here, he just goes out and writes a book, right? And then next minute, although I don't quite know what's going on with the book and why it's on its side, but that's okay. We'll leave that with you, Andy. We don't need to see your face. But old mate goes out, writes a book. Next minute, he's on his way to the bloody Disclaiming Guru Conference of the World.
Incredible. Maybe we should write a book.
Do you think book sales are going that well for him? I mean, I don't know about you, but I've not purchased one, so I don't know what he's doing. How are sales going, mate?
They've actually slowed down considerably. I don't think the message is quite getting out there as it should. Okay. You might learning something is maybe not contributing to any extra sales.
To the credibility of the book, right? Okay, no worries, but I'll work on my spelling while you're away. Maybe I need to go on some kind of spiritual grammar spelling bloody bee or something. Absolutely brilliant. Well, hey, listen, hopefully it goes well, and may the book sales continue. And we are going to be doing, you see, I told you, you know what this? I told you we should have had a launch party at a bar with alcohol and, entertainment and all sorts. Book sales would have gone through the roof. Anyway,
I got told repeatedly that was on the cards, but it never happened.
It still is.
I'm just incredibly disorganized.
We're saving it for the sequel.
Anyway, Andy, how is our young apprentice, young Oliver?
He's doing okay. He's the school production's coming up, and he's playing a role in that. But he's a little bit concerned about the lighting setup.
Okay.
So he's in there this morning doing a GSA.
Just want to check. It's not Sweeney Todd, is it?
Too soon.
Too soon. The law was enacted in 2015. That happened on like the day after, and we're now in 2025. 10 years on. How can it be too soon?
No, I think it's called the Pirates of the Can of Beans.
The Pirates of the Can of Beans. Just make sure there's no fake knives hanging around this spot.
Yeah.
Now, boys, I know you're waiting. My new feature of the show before we get into the spinning wheel. What happened on this day in safety? Now, I called upon the powers that be, Google, and I'm going to read to you verbatim what the response was. There isn't a single globally recognized significant health and safety event tied to August the 22nd in history. So there we go. Nothing significant happened today in the name of safety. So I guess that's us, really. So
your segment has a spectacular track record so far, I think.
I don't think there's been anything. No, there was that one time. I need to go back and find the records. There was that one time that there was something significant. I will check it out. But boys, are we ready?
Can I just jump in?
No, I've got to get off at 9 o'clock.
I know, but this is incredibly important.
Oh.
And I know that we normally don't sort of bow to the demands of the audience. However, I did receive a message yesterday from an avid listener who insisted that I read this out live on air.
But hang on, so how did this message come in? Did this come in through our?
It came to me personally because it is quite personal.
And to be fair,
it starts, mate. I did you a disservice when I called you out last month or so on the Circus of Safety podcast for not marking my assignment. I just caught up with, and he let me know that it was signed off back in June. I didn't realise that the system doesn't send automatic notifications, so my humble apologies.
Well, firstly, I think that's fake. Who the hell would call you mate? Like that, let's just start there. Let's just critically analyse those statements. Who the hell in their right mind would call you mate? Not even Des and I called you mate. So there we go. There's the first.
Can I just come back on that? The next bit says, I've sent through the next assignment. Please mark it as soon as you can.
See you in 3 months. Okay. Anyway, now that you've blown your own trumpet, let's get into it, boys. Not a lot sitting on the wheel at the moment. Not a lot sitting there. So fingers crossed this goes okay. Are we ready, boys?
Let's do it.
Spin the wheel.
Here we go. Wow, Andy Evans, I hope you are prepared to carry the show.
This is not me. Don't you be laying this on me again.
Wow. What do you mean don't blame you on this? This is definitely...
This is what constantly happens, is that something comes up and you just say, oh, it's Andy's. It's not.
Who the hell... Like, Des doesn't add anything to the board. Nothing Des puts on the board comes up. And secondly... I don't know words that big. So what the hell is going on?
Well, firstly, I'm disappointed because I didn't think blame was the thing that we were focusing on here.
Oh, mate, I don't.
The fact that you're looking at the blame is just disappointing.
No, that's another topic, Andy. Today we're talking about why does everything have to be so binary?
This on the board?
Yeah.
Well, so let's go to the man who put this on the board, Andy. So what does, I can't even remember what the hell the topic was, mate. Does everything need to be so binary? Take it away, mate. What are your thoughts for the next 45 minutes?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, what are we talking about? Are we talking about binary in the context it's either on or off? It's either yes or no. Or are we talking about sort of the binary number system, which is probably the same thing? which is basically how computers
Here
function.
we go.
So if we do talk about computers and technology, you really are talking about binary at some level.
So we had
Unless
this
you're getting the
conversation
quantum
before the show
computing, of
started,
course,
Andy.
when that's a whole different thing, because it can be a 1 and a 0 at the same time.
Andy, we had this conversation. We're losing followers because people are commenting they're sick and tired of you being so predictable. Definitions. Let's define. Come on. I want something real. Does everything need to be so binary? I mean, there's a couple of angles I want you to consider here when you answer this question. Firstly, your initial thoughts that rushed through your head when you saw that topic land and wondered, how the hell are we going to kill 25 minutes talking about things being so binary? Firstly,
the first thing that went through my head is finally one of my topics come up, but you happily blamed Andy for that.
Is that yours?
Yeah, and it's
What?
and the reason I put that up so long ago.
I actually forgot that you actually contribute to the topic.
Yeah, when
Sorry.
I put that up prior to living memory, it seems it was in response to the idea that arguments on LinkedIn, things in industry, they're very binary and absolutist. You're either doing it this way or you're doing it wrong.
Wow.
And that can apply to a lot of different theories and methods and tools. And I think it's that concept that you're either doing it this way or you're doing it wrong is fundamentally misleading. It's based on some assumptions that tools and methods can be copied and pasted from one organization to another. It assumes that a safety role is the same from one organization to another, and none of those things typically are true, and therefore you can't be so binary in your thinking about methodologies. You have to sometimes take what works, adapt it, and implement it according to what you're dealing with at the time.
Wow, I wish your topics came up more often. I've never heard you say so much in your intro opening about a topic this entire time we're doing this. Wow, that's quite impressive. Now I actually remembered now. Isn't this a hangover from season 2?
I feel like it might be from season 1. That's why I said prior to living memory. This one goes way back.
Goes way back. Okay, Andy, you've heard from Des. You've got his thoughts on it. We can't. I'm not going to. One of the things that you know about me, Andy, I don't apologize for nothing. I dig a hole, and I just
you
keep
don't
digging.
apologize for
right?
nothing. That's a double negative. So in English, that means actually you do apologize for things. Am I correct there, Des?
What are your thoughts on what Des just had to say?
Bang on.
What are your thoughts? Okay, so Des has kindly articulated what the topic's actually about. What are your thoughts, mate? What are your thoughts?
I broadly agree with him. Absolutely. I think a recent show that we did is a good example of this, which was entitled Zero Harm is Stupid. And I think that is quite a good example of the sort of binary thinking.
Wow, okay. So are you double downing on what you said on that show?
I'm not double downing, but it's that whole concept. If you don't do it my way, you're doing it wrong. When actually it's way more subtle than that. I mean, the whole principle of risk assessment is built around understanding the context. And as Des indicated there, if the context of your organisation is different to my organisation, then I'm not wrong. I'm just doing it differently. There's a thing in safety, doing safety differently. That's an interesting.
We should coin that term and market it, maybe.
It'll never take off. Just
Never
cause
take
more
off.
confusion
No, not at all.
and more binary thinking.
Yeah. So there's kind of sitting with you, mate, and appreciating that this has been put on the wheel since before time began. Has much changed in your way of thinking? Do you think this is still a relevant topic for us to be discussing today around how binary things are, and it's yes or no or otherwise?
Yeah, it's still relevant, and I'd happily admit I've fallen into this way of thinking as well sometimes. from my own personal experience, and zero harm is probably a good example of that. I've never seen it work in an effective way, so then I'm quite dismissive of it, and that might not be entirely fair. But then I see most of this on LinkedIn arguments, but I also see it sometimes from external auditors who say you must do this, and their idea of what we must do is just one way of fixing a problem, and that one way might not actually suit our organization, and we might have gone down a different path.
Cool.
So without trying to be too vague.
I'm going to come back to you on that. Des, because I know you've done some great work in that space, challenging that binary aspect of it. But Andy, I want to jump down to you, mate. I mean, you profess to travel the country, working, engaging with people, talking to people. You're talking to a range of people. Now, Des has kind of called on the LinkedIn community as an example, whereby people, it's either one way or the other. You're in this camp, you're in that camp. And I think that's happening potentially. What are your thoughts are you seeing that kind of concept or that I don't know, those thoughts happening at a client-facing space? So our clients saying, Andy, we want it done this way or we want it done that way. Are you seeing that?
They sometimes do, but part of my role is to try and persuade them to take a more holistic approach and sort of define some terms up front to get some clarity about what they're trying to achieve. One of the things that's quite interesting is people jump on the new thing. I've seen this. I've been in the industry, 12 years now, something like that. And it's just it's the new thing. People don't finish anything. They just move to the new thing. So they jumped on like safety 2 is the new thing. So we're doing safety 2, but they don't even really understand what safety 2 is or even what safety 1 is or the relationship between the two things. They then jump onto the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But fundamentally, I don't think safety has really changed for a long, long time. It's, this can hurt people, keep people away from it. I mean, call it whatever you want, but it's really keeping people away from things that can hurt them.
So would it be fair to say then that we're actually, are we contributing to this problem equation that Des came up with before the start of time, Andy? Are we not trying to do the same thing with this little bit of shenanigans that we call a podcast?
I would like to think that we're not, because I think the object of this, apart from us three to get together and talk to each other and just have a laugh, is to challenge things. And I really want to encourage the listeners to think critically about safety, actually reflect on their practice, reflect on what's going on, don't necessarily take everything at face value. And I think that's how we would get better as a profession, is rather than sticking to a certain philosophy quite dogmatically, actually do a bit of reflective practice and think, actually, why are we doing this? What's the point of this? And, applying sort of the tools that we use to our own profession.
Interesting. Des, your thoughts? Are we part of the problem?
Potentially. Like I said, I readily admit that I fall into this trap myself sometimes.
Because people should only listen to our podcast. They should not be listening to other podcasts.
Yeah, there's only...
It's our podcast or
exactly.
No podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you're either with us or against us, right?
That's right.
I'm definitely against you.
Although
definitely against you.
Makes it interesting when we disagree with each other.
I definitely think, though, one thing you can guarantee is we highly recommend people listen to other podcasts to gain some actual insight into what they should be doing. Okay, Des. So here we go, mate. You've thrown out the big words. You've acknowledged that you're not perfect. So what's the solution, mate? What are you thinking? So if we're taking things so binary, or I guess, well, firstly, I think, could it work though? Des, that's probably a question I want to throw at you. Could being binary and picking one side of the fence or the other, one tool or the other, I mean, in your mind, can you see that
Yeah,
working?
you could probably get by, but is it the best option? Not necessarily. And I think out of all these methodologies and tools and things that people are being binary about, there's probably a nugget of wisdom in each one. And I think the best approach is probably to curate your own selection of those nuggets and apply them to your own organization. I think you would be falling into a trap if you limited yourself to one train of thought, one methodology, without exploring other things.
Okay. Andy, your thoughts? I mean, if a client said to you, Andy, I'm not buying your snake oil. I wanna take this route. I don't this holistic nonsense. I don't want to hold hands. I don't want to sing kumbaya. I'm jumping all in this thing. Well, that's just the way we like you, Andy. Just the way we like you. I'm assuming you can hear everything okay, Des?
Yep.
Okay, well, this is awkward because Andy, for those of you that are tuning in, maybe post show because I clearly messed up the scheduling. Andy apparently can't hear us, which is I don't know about you, Des, but I often feel that way about Andy. I don't know whether it's the fact that he can't hear us or he chooses not to listen.
I think it's a product
Des?
of his binary thinking. He either hears everything or hears nothing.
And here he is, traveling the country, stating that he can, that he's selling the world and he wants people to define things and he wants to do all this and he wants to do all that. Yet really at the bones of it, he's just incredibly binary and one-sided, really.
It's disappointing to say the least.
Oh, so disappointing. I mean, I expected, I did expect far more from Andy. But anyway, back to you. Oh!
You
looks like as
pair of cocks.
Whoa! You idiot! Now I've got to put explicit language
I was referring to you as milk chickens.
Hey, Andy, what else was I talking about? What are your thoughts? Client comes to you and says, mate, I'm not buying your snake oil. I don't want to hold hands, sing kumbaya, dance around trees and in the moonlight. I'm going to put all my money on black, right? What are your thoughts? What I mean, do you think it could work, putting all your money on one?
No. I think there's two aspects. There's two aspects to it. So, no, I don't think it would work. Because I'm not going to say the definition word. Oh no, I've said it. But it depends on your philosophy. Like if, for example, you're going down the fully engagement, building a great culture, all that sort of stuff, that does benefit safety. But fundamentally, you still need the controls. But you can have the best culture in the world, but if nothing's controlled, if none of the hazards are controlled, you've got problems. You've got to still control the hazards. You've still got to do proper, what I would call pure safety, I guess. Stuff, the engineering controls.
I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure if you're still talking about safety. What does everything need to be so binary, or whether you're talking about something else about controls. I've got lost, but I want to come back to you on that though, Andy, because you don't think it could work, but I want to argue. If you're doing lots of things, or you're applying lots of binary in your approach, are you just not scattergunning and taking on too much and doing it all badly? Is it not better to just kind of focus in on one thing and do that one thing and do it well?
So could you give me an example of one thing then? So I guess that would be what we need to narrow this conversation down to.
Picking one of those. Des has gone down the road of doing things binary, right? So picking one thing of that. So let's go with something that's probably dear to your heart. So root cause analysis, right? You put all your money on root cause analysis. That's the only way you investigate things, and you do it in that incredibly structured way, and you do it very well. Or do you think if you decide, well, you know what, depending on the circumstance, depending on the outcome, depending on the potential for learning, I may use root cause analysis, or I may use learning teams, or I may use fishbone, or I may do nothing, taking lots of different approaches. Do you think does that make sense? So you either go all in and only ever do root cause analysis and the typical 5 why maybe sort of route, or do it well, or do you think that by potentially giving yourself many options, you potentially won't do any of them well when it comes to investigating or looking into events that didn't quite go as you
That's a
planned?
really fundamental question, and I agree with you.
That's what I'm not asking you to bloody agree with me.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
asking, what do you think? Do you honestly? Do you
I think it's a
way,
really difficult conversation to have, but I don't think you should be wedded to a certain methodology. But I think there's nothing necessarily wrong with basing your actions on a certain philosophy. I think having a philosophy that underpins your thinking. So I would suggest that my safety philosophy is largely based on the work of Trevor Kletz, chemical engineer in the 70s, which is very much about managing hazards, controls, all that sort of stuff. And then possibly then following on that, James Reason, which is more the psychological approach to safety. So those would be the two philosophies that anchor my view of safety. So I don't think that's necessarily a binary approach, but that's my philosophy. Now, within that, I've got scope to choose a whole range of tools. But that's my underlying principle is that I think the organizations are the ones that create the hazards, the situations, and therefore they should manage them. And I guess that's my underlying philosophy. If you've got a different philosophy to that, then you would choose to use different tools at different times, wouldn't you? I think.
That wasn't the question that I asked, though, Andy. Work with me here, brother.
The question you asked went on for a week. I was exhausted by the end of it.
Wait till I'm going to circle back around on this in a minute. I'm going to go to Des. Des, I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm actually surprised that you've taken this whole holding hands, singing Kumbaya, dancing around the tree in the moonlight approach, as opposed to let's pick one model and stick with it and do it well. I mean, do you not feel that maybe if you go down this road of picking and choosing, chopping and changing, depending on the circumstance or whatever, you're going to end up diluting the quality of the way you do things?
You run that risk, and I did say earlier that by choosing one method
I wasn't listening, just FYI.
By choosing one method and doubling down on it, you can achieve a good result most of the time. But I stopped short of saying that it was best practice. And the reason I stopped short of saying that it's best practice is with the example of root cause analysis. If you're going to double down on a particular methodology, that won't account for novel situations. And you will encounter a novel situation in which that tool won't be the best fit. And you'll be trying to put a square plug in a round hole and it won't quite work. And
unless you hit it really hard.
So an element of flexibility in the methodology and the tools that you use, and cherry pick elements from other areas that can enhance that. I don't see that should be an issue. So there's definitely a middle ground. You don't need to be a master of one methodology, and you don't need to be a jack of all trades, but you can certainly curate something that suits the organization.
Wow, beautifully said. I'm going to circle back around here. So one of the things, I just want to kind of put it out there at the moment. So my entire family, well, when I say my entire family, myself and my wife are now both in safety for a living. Now, I can say that confidently because I know she doesn't listen to this podcast. And so she's currently in a role of health and safety administrator. So the whole family is in safety. It's quite exciting. And one of the things that I've learned from my wife, she was really anti, this concept, but I've been focusing. I've been trying to spend some quality time with her of late, and I've really been kind of observing her in her natural habitat. Now, one of the things she does is she watches Sister Wives. Now, she's been watching Sister Wives for a considerable number of years.
What is that?
Recently. You need to look into it. It's about it takes you through the lifestyle. It's a show about a real life documentary on polygamy, right? So a person that takes multiple approaches to having multiple wives. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. He's ended up losing all of them. So my theory is why don't we just stick with one? Stick with one, do it well.
Did you
actually-
just say that? Stick with one wife and do it well.
What is
That's obscene.
what is wrong with being so? No, but
I do know what you mean.
But like case in point, being so. Wait, you boys think I'm crazy now. Wait till I'm on some good drugs post surgery. It's going to be brilliant. But you know what I mean? Like the case in point, he tried to not be so binary, right? And look at him now. He's ended up with nothing. So, do you not think I'm right? Like being binary, just sticking to one thing, doing that one thing well, focusing on that one thing, putting your time, energy, and effort, becoming an expert on that one thing. I mean, that seems to make logical sense to me based on my theory of the Sister Wives TV show.
I think the analogy might be a bit of a stretch. What about you, Andy?
I would tend to agree with you there, don't I?
Bit of a stretch.
I think
you
we're
guys need to
talking
watch Sister
about,
Wives.
again, slightly different things. You're focusing on a particular methodology, and I'm sort of focusing more on more of a philosophy. So you can have multiple methodologies that sit within a philosophy. So if we tap into Des's legal knowledge, that even though he's not a proper lawyer, as we know, but he does have some legal knowledge.
So part of me is glad you managed to work that into the show. So well done.
I've been thinking really hard about how to get it in, but I finally got there. And I'm just wondering about the concept of common law. That sort of is like a philosophy, right? It sort of encapsulates how a lot of other things work. It underpins a lot of things, which is different to the concept of civil law, which is sort of the difference between the English common law system and the French system, which is all based upon rules. So I think where it becomes dangerous is if you start to overlap those two, it can get a bit complex because that's what underpins it. But within civil law or within common law approaches to the legal system, you've got a variety of tools that you can use. So you're never fully stuck with one. You've got a range of tools, but you're underpinned by some values and structures, maybe. Am I way off the mark there, Des?
No, not necessarily. That's a good point. Yeah.
So I think we do have scope. I think what you're saying is, I guess if we went back to put it in the safety narrative, is are we driven by compliance and clipboards? Or are we driven by understanding behaviours? And I think that's where I would sort of say that the binary bit is problematic. Or even take it a step further and say, do you believe that people are the problem or that people are the solution? And it's those sorts of philosophies that I think that would direct you towards a set of tools and methodologies that you can use that will give you the flexibility that you need.
So should you exclude yourself from the other ones if you fall within one of those camps?
I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying potentially there could be some tension and unintended consequences of doing that in terms of consistency. But again, it's you need to think about that and do a bit of analysis of it. But I think as long as you sort of stick within the framework, you tend to be okay. It's when you start to make exceptions to that framework that it starts to get messy.
I'm gonna say something.
Oh, please do.
Is that okay?
Please do.
I've been pretty quiet on the show. I haven't really come out.
We've been waiting a couple of years for you to
wonderful.
say something profound. So this will be good.
Do a drum roll.
Maybe I can come with you on. I think people are the problem and the solution. I'm onto a winner there, boys. I'm going to copyright that nonsense. I'm going to write a book on it, actually. People are the problem and the solution. Because they are, right? Let's be fair. If we didn't have people, if there weren't people, we wouldn't have a job.
If we didn't have people, we wouldn't be here.
To be fair,
problem solved.
Well, that too, right? I mean, look how philosophical this is. Look how philosophical my profound statement is. People are the problem and the solution. And you can be both, I think. Just putting that out there. What are your thoughts on that profound statement of wisdom, Des?
It's very binary. They're a problem and a solution. Maybe they're neutral.
No,
think
that's
that's
not
actually
binary. That's
anti-binary.
quantum. That's Schrodinger's cat. That's Schrodinger's
What
cat.
he said.
That's the cat's alive
Thank
and dead
you.
at the same time. It is. So I think we've just invented quantum safety.
I had quantum safety in my last job. We had Schrodinger's IP. Because after every incident, we had to send someone to the on-site medic, whether they were injured or not. If there was some contact with the body or something like that, some sort of contusion, we had to send them anyway. So they were, while they're in the medic, just the idea of them getting a consult could be considered treatment. So they were both. Any person that we sent into the medic was simultaneously injured and not injured until they came out with a medical certificate. So that was Schrodinger's
Wow.
IP.
I like that.
Wow. Okay. So I'm a little disappointed that my philosophical profoundness isn't unique. But yeah, okay. I'm still going to go with it. People are the problem and the solution. You heard it here first on the Circus of Safety.
Can we
so
put
wrapping
that
it
on the
up,
wheel
Andy,
for another show? I think that's
I
quite
think
a
we
good
could
one.
put that on the wheel. Yeah. I think we should make a T-shirt about it. I mean, I'm going to write a book about it. But
It could be another T-shirt that doesn't sell.
Hey! I've been buying a lot of merch of late to give away. Okay, I've been buying a lot to give away. Andy, wrapping it up, mate. Your thoughts, your final thoughts. What are you leaving people with on the concept of does everything need to be so binary?
No.
Okay, wow. Taking Dez's style. Des, your final words, keyword being words, on the concept of does everything need to be so binary?
Also, no. And I like the fact that we started off talking about binary computer code and quantum computers, and then we've actually managed to circle back to quantum mechanics. And maybe there's something in that. Maybe we can apply quantum physics to the way we manage safety and risk.
Nice.
I actually
There we
read an
go.
article about entropy and safety, which was quite interesting.
I'll take your word on that. There you have it, folks. Our spinning wheel of death topic of today: does everything need to be so binary? Apparently, the majority say no. I'm going to go with a third no, and totally agree. I think I still do believe people are the problem and the solution. I don't think we want to be binary, and I think we've been harping on about that for quite some time, and that's probably why we get so antsy about specific concepts or topics that pop up, because you need to find the right solution or the right tool for the job, right? And I think that's what Des's concept of a round peg into a square hole was all about. So definitely something to be considering. Don't be so binary in your approach, because we're dealing with people, right? We're dealing in a dynamic live environment, and it's definitely something we want to be thinking about. And Andy, your homework, to go watch 12 seasons of
12
Sister Wives
seasons?
between now and next show.
I'm keen on that article. Can you share that article?
What
The
article?
one about
Entropy.
Entropy, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. It's it might be behind a paywall, but yeah, I'll see if I can get a copy of it.
Just downloaded illegally, screenshot or something. And we
Did
were.
you just say that?
Did I say that on air?
You're so funny.
Anyway,
You're such a comedian,
wrapping
Brenton.
us up. Yeah.
Listeners, the comments from
away with
Brenton
it.
Harrison do not reflect the views of the Circus of Safety.
I was just taking the fact that I was covered by our disclaimer. Well, there we go. So, Andy, what have you got coming for the next couple of weeks, mate?
iCamtastic next week down in Hamilton with the EMA course down there. 14 on it, so looking forward to meeting those and educating those over a couple of days.
Fantastic. No, great work. Des, are you all packed, mate, for your trip?
I think I'm pretty excited about the journey I'm about to go on. That reminds me of a saying that no man ever crosses the same river twice, because it's never the same river and it's never the same man. So I might be coming back a different person indeed.
Well, look forward to it. Now, Andy, often when you can't make a show, we find Andy 2.0 and one Mr. Matthew Sagrove has often stepped into your shoes. I don't think we got that same problem with Des. I mean, his word count doesn't really touch sides. I mean, I don't know if we need to find a Des 2.0 for
I was just thinking, can we
show.
just sort of screenshot this and just superimpose him just there like that now? And I don't think anyone would notice the difference.
Yeah, done. Nah, done, mate, done. Here's hoping he comes back with more words of wisdom than normal after his disclaiming differently conference. Hey, listen, great to, again, it's been a great chat, boys. And one of the things, though, that we do want to acknowledge, and we still can't get our head around, is the fact that other people actually tune in to listen to us ramble on about things like sister wives. Nonetheless, a big thank you and a welcome to our latest follower. His name is Ian Barrett. So, Mr. Ian Barrett, thank you for coming in. I tell you, Andy, while you're down in Hamilton next week, because he hails from Hamilton in the mighty Waikato of Aotearoa, call in and see Ian Barrett. He is currently the GM, I'm going to say General Manager, of OSH, Occupational Health and Safety, partnering at Timberlands Pacific Pty Limited. Been there for nearly 3 years.
I think I know Ian.
Yeah, big shout outs to our... Well, it doesn't say that on his LinkedIn
Quite
profile.
often people pretend they don't know me on LinkedIn.
I know.
Surprise.
You got two of those people on the show with you. So welcome to Mr. Ian Barrett. And a quick reminder, because we're not paying Des any money at all to go to this disclaiming conference, because we don't make money out of the show. Please don't forget to buy his book. Scan the book. All proceeds go towards his overseas trip to see the disclaiming guru. And as part of that, he will also take a selfie and let us know how it goes. Apart from that, boys, I think we're pretty quiet over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully we can actually get a bit more organised and put some time and effort behind the scenes into the Circus of Safety to continue producing some good content.
Lovely. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Have a great trip.
Fantastic.
See you in a month.
Will too. And catch you all on the next one.